When you were at school, how many of your teachers were really good? Exceptional even? 1, 2, or none of them? Let's be bluntly honest here. Formal education is a joke. It's not fit for purpose. It probably never was, but it's certainly failing our youngsters nowadays. They're leaving school and college or university if they study further, ill prepared for the real world. And let's not even get into all the woke nonsense that commonly begins in our higher education institutions, infecting vulnerable young minds who deserve much better. As the world changes faster and faster, the cracks in the education system are getting bigger. There are glaring omissions. On a basic level, for example, there's no preparation whatsoever for dealing with personal finance matters in life. Yes, you'll leave school hopefully knowing how to read and write, although atrocious lapses in spelling and punctuation are being shockingly overlooked. And you'll be able to do at least basic maths, but not much else that's useful. Resilience has become a prominent buzzword in education during recent years. But this character strength, what we prefer to call never give up, is just one of the 16 key factors that we've identified as crucial for being the best you can be. The others are being overlooked. Furthermore, schools, colleges and universities are ignoring psychological avoidance as if it doesn't exist or matter. Anyway, back to resilience. How many teachers or lecturers know anything practical about it? The vast majority certainly don't live it, so how are they going to realistically teach it to their students? They're not. If you think otherwise, you're deluded. Those who can do, and those who can't teach. This is a well-known saying, and it's largely true. Of course, there's a wide range of capability and diligence within the teaching profession. Some are beyond useless, most are mediocre, a few are good, and even fewer are very good. My dad was a teacher. He worked his way up to eventually become Director of Education for Essex, with responsibility for over 600 schools. He fought hard for change, even after retiring from the state school system. When our organisation began a project for young people, my dad gave us a great bit of advice. Bypass the teachers. He knew they were a big part of the problem. Teachers, on the whole, are a lazy bunch. They love their long summer holidays. And they're always moaning about one thing or another. Their trade unions sail close to the point where a good case could be made against them for child abuse, as they rarely, if ever, put the needs of the learners first. We think radical reform is needed. Of course, we're not alone on this. Many agree. But we go further than everyone else because we know that psychological attitude is paramount for leading a successful and fulfilling life. It's much more important than a lot of the existing school syllabus. We've known for decades that there's a major problem here. We long ago considered various ways to get what we know tested and incorporated into formal education. But there was always going to be a stumbling block. Even if we eventually succeeded, who would teach it? We ran a young people's group many years ago. One of our youngsters, Robert, showed how he understood adult hypocrisy. It was exam time at school and the head teacher had called for silence from the pupils whenever they were anywhere near the rooms being used for the examinations. But Robert told us how most of the teachers would ignore the instruction themselves. They'd be chattering away, often loudly, making a farce of the temporary rule. Hypocrites. So here's our idea for reform. Sack the lot of them. Get rid, start again. And the very few that are genuinely good might be re-employed in a totally different structure. Teachers have to go. They're dinosaurs. It's time for them to become extinct. They belong in the past. The future has to be different. Our schools, colleges and universities are badly outdated, barely fit for purpose. They don't need improving, upgrading. That won't be enough. The problems are much worse. They go far deeper. If we're all honest, willing to be truly responsible, nothing less than radical change will suffice. We owe it to our young people to do our absolute best for them. Education should be a great thing. As we don't get to choose our parents, schools are necessary to make sure that every child is given equal opportunity to shine in adulthood. This early preparation is fundamental. It's where our future begins. It's not just the teachers who are at fault. The behaviour of youngsters in school can be appallingly bad. To quote Philip Larkin's poem yet again, "They fuck you up, your mum and dad. They may not mean to, but they do. They fill you with the faults they had and add some extra just for you." Facing a class of 30+ pupils can be daunting. The learners are learning quick, especially by the secondary school stage, even if it's just sussing out your insecurities, both as a teacher and as a human being. They can smell the bullshit. You won't get away with being mediocre. There needs to be respect, but this has to be earned. Just being a teacher isn't enough anymore. You have to really know your stuff and be able to genuinely relate to those you're teaching. And the curriculum must be relevant to now and the near future. A teacher-led system is outdated. Young people need the absolute best in relevant knowledge and instruction. This doesn't always need to be delivered by someone in the classroom. Technology is advanced and should be fully incorporated to help enable best educational practice. Look at how I'm able to get things through to you by these films on YouTube, for example. Lessons should be prepared and delivered by those individuals who are at the very top of their game, whether they're in business or from any other walk of life. Most people who excel would be more than willing to spend some of their time doing this, breaking off from their normal jobs, giving back, helping the next generation get the best start possible. These same individuals would be equally as willing to then make occasional school visits, in person, to add enthusiasm to an already engaged classroom of learners. Other outstanding individuals would contribute their input. We don't need teachers in any conventional sense of the word. Instead, we need our youngsters to learn from the finest people in society. Of course, school, college and university coordinators and administrators would be necessary. These would have to be totally different in terms of effectiveness and efficiency compared to the lousy lot currently stealing a wage. And suitable individuals would be required to watch over students as they learn. What I'm briefly outlining will happen one day in the future. Humans won't stay this dumb forever. The need for change in formal education is already rumbling like thunder in the far distance, and it'll get louder and louder. Those in positions of authority must face reality. They must look at themselves, not least in terms of suitability for the job. The whole of society has to begin a multifaceted discussion about what's really needed. Sadly, this won't occur anytime soon. People love their justifications, and there's always someone else to blame, which is easier than delivering change. Teachers point the finger at government, for example, and parents dump their inadequacies on teachers. Meanwhile, youngsters will continue to get a raw deal, transitioning into becoming adults, poorly equipped for following their highest dreams. You need a clean sweep of teachers and other education professionals, with only very few exceptions, simply because they would get in the way of or sabotage any fundamental reform. They're a big part of the problem. Even if they claimed they wanted to improve themselves, they're nowhere near good enough, so it's not going to happen. Our children's future should only be entrusted to the very best in society. They get one chance. We're churning out substandard young adults from schools and universities. All the suffering in the world needs sorting. Yet, as decade after decade goes past, it's not happening. Instead of helping society to develop, young people quickly become part of the problem, joining in with the same old, same old. We need a vision for a better world, higher expectations, that can inspire the next generation. In the future, how to be the best you can be, peak psychological attitude, will be taught as core parts of any educational syllabus, at primary, secondary and tertiary level. It'll be as normal as learning ABC and 1 + 1 = 2. But for now, you're stuck with me. We had to touch on this subject towards the latter part of this series of films because you might be thinking, shouldn't this be taught in schools? I trust I've given you a few things to think about in terms of an answer, including a glimpse of the future. We've got another sticky subject up next. I'll see you again soon.